预告片，来看，我走。预告片，你不能拿走我的蜡烛。
Many have met their fate here in the shade of Fell Shrine. So step lightly. But here you are bound by new rules. My rules.
狂战。
Each step with gold to tempt you.
改了怎么那么像劫道
？A foe to wound you. A curse to spite you. But do not give up. For vast riches await the bold.
像劫道，怎么那么像劫道啊
？Pillage this sanctum if you must. And one day you may uncover its secrets.
是玩狗黄看国际服的直播，
但听得到啊？
那直播连了。
这样啊，这样应该平衡一点。劫道2.0，劫道祭司2.0哦，新技能，新技能，终局暗金武器加强，这是什么？核虚加强。 没人在乎，武器模式没有人在乎，不好意思，这个没人在乎。哎，他们也放一个希拉克，没人在乎。全新暗金，核虚加强。
我的声音很小吗？不应该吧？
核虚加强。
那我就离麦近一点。
核虚加强，核虚到底会长怎么样子？干，我现在比任何东西都还期待，时下什么随便。来看一下赛季，内容。
Abandoned for a long time, it is now controlled by a malevolent entity. In this league, you'll explore it, find out its secrets, and deal with the evil that lurks there. The Sanctum Challenge League is a roguelike game, played out one room at a time as you explore Rayclast and the Atlas in Path of Exile. In every area or map you enter, you can make a choice of which room in the Sanctum you will explore next. On the Sanctum map, you can see the contents of a few rooms ahead, enabling you to plot a path through its dangerous halls. And the Sanctum is dangerous. Like most roguelikes, you should not expect to be able to complete it on your first try. Getting to the deeper floors requires experience, knowledge, and luck. You should expect that your early attempts will fail, but over time, you'll be able to push yourself farther and farther. As you progress deeper into the Sanctum, you'll find a variety of treasures that will help you eventually fight your way to the dangers that await you at the end of its 4 floors. Eventually, by endgame, you may be able to push through all 4 floors to face the final boss. Every roguelike needs a resource to help you track how well the run is going. In the Forbidden Sanctum, it is your resolve, indicated by this bar here. As you explore the Sanctum, your resolve is threatened by the dangers within. When you lose all of your resolve, your Sanctum run ends.
你被打到会降你的坚毅值，他不是人死，你们看到吗？你们看到吗？他不是因为人死，是因为他人被打到。他人被打到会降坚毅值。
Your resolve is reduced when you are hit by monsters or environmental hazards in the Sanctum, and these telegraphed attacks are not affected by regular Path of Exile defensive mechanics, such as evasion, armor, or block. While these attacks do some nominal damage to your regular life, the bulk of their impact is against your resolve. This mechanic provides a mechanism for tracking your progress between rooms, where your regular life pool would long ago have been recovered. Another aspect of the resolve system is that characters who are struggling can be ejected from the Sanctum without actually having to die, avoiding experience loss or hardcore death. So maintaining a healthy level of resolve is key as you navigate the Sanctum, and that means making careful choices of what rooms you enter. Let's have a look at some of the things that Sanctum rooms can contain.
冰霜射击啊，什么瑞眼那种天下啊，你看不到怪，然后怪打不到你，然后你直接隔着荧幕把它打掉。
causing rewards to become hidden on the Sanctum map. or causing sanctum rooms to spawn volatile anomalies that follow you. These minor afflictions accumulate as you get deeper and deeper into a run, making it more challenging. Major afflictions exist and are a big deal. They have significant consequences, such as entirely preventing the recovery of resolve. So, a sanctum run gets harder and harder as you pick up more afflictions. Sounds great.
Sounds
But
great.
every roguelike needs a way for you to gain power throughout your run. In the Forbidden Sanctum, that system is boons. Boons are beneficial buffs that help you as you
好，大家
progress
不要
through
玩
the
召唤，
sanctum.
这种不能
Minor
通常
boons
都对
make
召
things
唤
a
无
little
效，
easier,
绝对
such
对
as
召唤
slowing
无
down
效。
monsters or
大
adding
放
a
心好
special。shield to your resolve called Inspiration. Major boons don't come along often, but have large effects, such as preventing you from receiving more minor afflictions, or recovering your resolve to 50% the next time you run out.
这是跟召唤
Due
的
to the
无关
vast
的。
variety of afflictions and boons, no
我
two
们召唤
runs are
玩
the
家最
same.
清楚了。
Generally speaking, your best sanctum runs are the ones where the afflictions you choose have little effect on you, and the boons either counteract them or have a large benefit for the strategy you're running. Some rooms in the sanctum contain a fountain, which will restore some of your lost resolve.
OK， 补血
Others
补
contain
血喷
afflicted
泉
fountains
放心，
that
你的
restore
力气
even
不够
more
强，这些不
resolve
能躲。
at a cost.
at the cost。
Rooms with a treasure reward contain chests full of the Templar Aureus currency, a type of gold coin they used for commerce within their
又有新的赛
sanctum.
通过了。
可以拿这些
You'll
新
also
货
find
币
some
来
Aureus
跟那
coins
个
from
玩家
monsters that you kill as you
跟那个
explore.
买
These are
能
picked up
力。
automatically, like Azurite, and are not tradable. And like your
RogueLike
afflictions and boons, are lost when your
Hades
sanctum run ends.
这就是黑粒子跟
Some
死
rooms
亡
contain
细
a
胞
merchant
啊
who。accepts your Aureus coins in exchange for boons. Plan your purchases carefully, as you may encounter the merchant again later on with even more expensive boons to purchase.
哎，我老实
Occasionally,
讲，
the
我好期
sinister
待
powers
哦，
controlling
我
the
好期
sanctum
待
will
哦。
present you with the
虽然我觉得
choice
一
of
定做
making
很
an
笨，可是我
accursed
好期
pact.
待哦。
赛通
You
过
are
可以买
given
buff。
several pacts to choose from and can even opt to take all that you are offered. All pacts have a big upside
哇，那
and
是
a
比较
big
像
downside,
Spree
such as exchanging a portion of your maximum resource
哎，看
sanctum.
起来超赞！哎
It's
呦，
a
我讲
gamble
真的，
because if you fail
这
your
个
run
是
before
蜘
you
蛛
reach
刀
and defeat the
超强的
boss,
地方，因
you
为
will
蜘蛛刀
not
就是一
receive the
个混
reward
合
you
型的，
picked.
蜘蛛刀什么都强，
Later on,
就是蜘
you're
蛛刀就
offered the
是你
extreme
打怪
temptation of getting a
强，打王
massive
强，
currency reward
生
that
存
is
强，
conditional and
然后你
completing
又
your
可以看，
entire sanctum
我
run
讲真
without
的啊，就是
failing.
你看他现在所讲的，蜘蛛刀真的很强哎
At a。specific point in the Forbidden Sanctum storyline, you'll discover a special altar that
这个
Templar
小
relics
一定
can
是
be
缺
found.
那个显
暗黑
色。
太
These relics
像了。
directly affect your sanctum runs and are not lost when a run ends. They persist throughout the league as a permanent source of meta
哎，
progression.
看起来超好玩的
Acquiring new and
哎，
better relics is one of the
看
ways
起
you
来
can
超
push
级
farther
好
and
玩的
farther
哎
each run you，
他还
try.
设定那个系统哎。
Relics cannot be crafted and cannot be traded, as they represent your personal progression throughout the league. You'll accumulate more than you can use simultaneously, so you'll have options to fine-tune your strategy from run to run. You can store your extra relics in the Relic Locker, a free storage space like the Expedition Locker. We don't want to spoil important story details, but the end boss of the Forbidden Sanctum can drop
对
unique
啊，这
items from a
暗黑二
pool
的味道太
exclusive to
浓
this
了。
league.
超强
Today
靠
we'd
呗
like，to show you a unique
或者
amulet
你
called
更新
Eternal
一半
Damnation.
的额外
This
元素界
amulet
面。
offers a
啊，
powerful
如果你
way to gain
混抗
additional
有个
elemental
75%
mitigation
啊
by
88%，你
introducing the
你
concept
用
of
那个
elemental damage reduction.
用那个不是
Despite
浮华
the
之吻
drawback
啊，那个叫什么
of reducing your？maximum
反正就那个加你
resistances,
5%最大抗那个
我
宣传宝
没办法，调卖的声音
你会
大小
获得是吗？原著
compensate
伤害减免哎。
for.
这个视频
Because
播
of the
放时间
roguelike
超过
nature
这
of
一定
the
超过，
Forbidden
这是超强哎。
defeating the boss of a floor is a difficult achievement and hence rewards a lot of experience. You may fail on the way, so if you do manage it,
超强
expect
哎
a good experience boost for your achievement.
呜，会有戒指，太棒了！终于有一个联盟机制
Another
是
reward you can
专门
find
练
is
的
a special
呢。
type of relic called a sanctified relic
身上的猛
that has
攻
mods
效
that
果
directly affect your
哇，
character's
干
build.
第二个、第三个
You
宝
can
石，
only
第
unlock
三个
one
新
slot
团
for。this type of relic. And while these relics can't be crafted through conventional means, you may find special
你要
reward
一直
rooms
不
in the
断的
sanctum that can
roguelike
modify
玩
them.
这个东西，
对，
拿到
我
更好的
现在
遗
是
物
for。this
尽可能
league
把
only
那个
and
嘴
provide a
离迈
boost
近
to
一点。
character power for players who are able to master the sanctum. The Sanctum League offers a roguelike experience that tempts you into taking risks and rewards you if those pay off.
好啦，
There's a
我
lot
吃
to
的超
explore in
干
the Sanctum, and we can't
我
wait to
滚
hear about
球
your experiences next week. In each expansion leading up to Path of Exile 2's release,
我
we'll
期待着
Path of Exile's
等
endgame.
大家下
New
赛
content
季
to explore
下
and
周提
improvements
供
to
这
how
个
you
回
customize
馈，
your
不
in-game
骂就
experience.
不错了。
In the
Real
Forbidden
roguelike
Sanctum expansion, we're
gamer.
revamping the Atlas tree, reworking how Eldritch altars function, and are introducing 2 new Atlas memories.
增加2个异
The
界回
Atlas tree
忆
is generally working
memory，
really
加
well,
2个
but has a few
加
problems
2个
we'd like to
memory。
address. The tree offers you the ability to specialize in killing pinnacle bosses, providing extra rewards when you do so. While this sounds good on paper, it creates a situation where you're incentivized to specialize your tree for regular mapping, save up all of your boss fights, then respec fully into boss mode, and then do all of your saved up boss fights before specking back again.
他自己也意识到这个问题
Design
了。
他
of
不
the
是
Atlas
让我
tree
们这样
will
设
be
计
spec
吗？
into one build and then just play the game. We have removed all boss bonuses from the Atlas tree, and have baked some of them into the actual base properties of the boss fights. For example, you don't need to allocate the Gaze into the Abyss notable that makes the Elder more likely to drop a Watcher's Eye, as he just has that drop chance built in now. The Atlas tree is now focused on allowing you to specialize into content that you encounter in every map. We also want you to be able to specialize into your favorite leagues even more deeply on the Atlas tree. For each of the 10 leagues that the tree lets you disable, we've added a bunch more passives to the tree. These new passives allow you to increase the league's spawn chance to much higher levels than currently possible, and just include splitting up the basic currency, scarab, and divination card rewards to be explicit in their description of what rewards you'll get. For example, instead of map bosses dropping 3 unknown basic currency items, the author specifically says which currency item they'll drop.
80最大火抗加80混沌派，玩
These
蛋
will be
呐
less available from altars, but we've improved their availability elsewhere to offset this. You can also perform this action from your fragment tab using the new upgrade.
如果你不知道这个镀金是哪种机制的话，可以去看我的影
exclusive
片。
to different influences.
它就是变成那个对面的相位版、对位版而已，就是一个加100%，一个加58%，然后它反过来而已。
You can now also get awakened gems from defeating Maven Witness.
这个现在可以叫
This additional reward helps
Dream。
further balance the expected
先主关
returns
注
from
的
the
小
various
地图
types
首
of
领也
influence.
掉落这个
这个
For more
不
detail
特
on
别，
these changes,
不
check
怎
out the
么
balance
不怎么
manifest
吸
that we
引人
posted
啊
last week.
我觉得有
or the
可能会
upcoming
让那
patch
个
notes.
Awaken Dream 那个
In the Lake of Calandra
觉
expansion,
醒
we
觉醒
introduced
宝石的
Atlas
价格降低，
memories.
可是我
When applied to
并
your
不期
Atlas,
望这
they
个
unlock a
这个
sequence
我
of
觉得这个
maps
不会
that
改
tells
变
the
游戏
story
机
of an
制。
NPC's past.
全新的异界
These
回
stories
忆
manifest as
有
specialized
多2个回忆，
encounters
可
that
是不知道
emerge
怎么
in
去。
The Beast Ray memory line allows you to capture harvest monsters as beasts for your menagerie. These harvest beasts can be used in 9 new beast crafting recipes. These recipes cover an array of options. For example, you can remove one of the special modifiers from a Watcher's Eye jewel and then add another. This can have potent results, but won't affect the life, mana, or energy shield modifiers.
改手忘记。
You can re-roll an awakened gem from one type to another. Another example is that you can also re-roll a synthesis implicit modifier. If your item has more than one synthesis implicit, it will randomly re-roll one of them.
有些变不一
The
样了。
Domination Atlas memory thrusts you into a tale of pantheon gods that stand watch over
改
the
手忘
shrines.
之眼。
Like regular shrines, these are
对，这
guarded
价
by
格不会
monsters
跟
and
那
emit a
个
buff
会
that
跟
empowers the
买一个
monsters
未
that
鉴
can
定守
claim
望之
that
眼
buff
一样
yourself. This
可
Atlas
能会有
memory
点不一样，
introduces
是
a
因为
new set of
有一些
shrines
守望
with
之眼，
specialized buffs
它
guarded
有一
by
条
rare
废
monsters
值，有一条
that drop
强值，比如说
tantalizing
憎恨冰
rewards.
川、憎恨点伤之类，那
The
个
Forbidden
憎
Sanctum
恨冰川嘛，
expansion introduces
啊，
a
你有
new type
机
of
会
shard
赌那
that
条
can
词
drop
变
from
神
harbingers.
子，
Fracturing
阳寿
shards.
来了。
When combined together into a full currency item, you get the Fracturing Orb, which behaves the same as a Fracturing Craft from Harvest. It can be used on any rare item with at least 4 modifiers. When the orb is applied, it locks one of the modifiers in place so that further crafting efforts do not affect that modifier. Items fractured in this way can only have 1 fractured modifier. Previously, this crafting option was gated behind the Oshabi fight in Harvest. Now that it has been rehomed to Harbinger, the Harvest crafting option is no longer available. This means that you'll be able to use your Harvest Life Force and Oshabi kill
破
on
裂
other
动物
crafts.
来了！
Because fracturing shards drop from Harbingers, you'll be able to target farm them by specking into
先驱
Harbinger
者是哪一
content
只
on your
啊？干，
Atlas
先驱
tree.
者是哪一只？对不起，
The
我刚没
Forbidden
听他讲
Sanctum
话，干，我跟
expansion
天讲话。
introduces a number of new skill gems. In addition to some new melee Val skills we'll discuss later in the
Wow,
livestream, there are 2 totally new skills that we'd like to unveil today. Volcanic Fissure is a new fiery slam skill that can be used with staves,
神圣
maces,
和
axes,
崇高
and
的转
unarmed
变导致先
attacks.
驱不能刷了。
Strike the ground to create a chasm that winds towards your target. This chasm can
瓦尔
path
龙
around
打的
corners
闪电
before
打击版
erupting as the fissure gets
闪
as
电打
close as
击
it
版
can
瓦尔
reach.
龙打，
It releases a burst of fiery
可是它有一
projectiles
个
that explode
降
on
落的
striking
时
the
间
ground. Enemies hit by multiple
，OK，它
impacts
有
will
个
take
降
a
落
lot
的
of
时间，你看
stacks
很明
damage.
显，它有一个降落的时
Use it
间
up，
它
close
伤
for
害
a
造成太
reliable
慢了。
burst of
之前
damage
不都
or aim
猜
far
测
away
这
to
个
damage a larger area.
龙打要
不行不行，
削吗？
这个比赛
Frozen
拿落
Legion
太
is an
多了。
unusual
怎么把人加
spell,
强了？
summoning a ring of icy statues that attack with your own weapon damage. The skill has multiple cooldown stacks and consumes all cooldown uses at once to summon a statue for each available cooldown. The statues perform a sweeping ice slash, and these sweeps can
冰系近
overlap,
战，
resulting in multiple
排烟
hits
头不
against
不
targets
削
close
就
to
玩这
you.
个了。
The spell can be used with staves, maces, and axes. The skill is particularly powerful with slow, heavy weapons, as while the statues will use your attack speed, you should instead prioritize the spell's own cast
吃
time
法
and
术
cooldown.，
它是法术技能，可是却
This
吃你的
expansion
武器
also
伤害。
introduces many new Val melee skills. As you know, equipping a Val skill gem grants you both the Val and regular version of the skill. As you kill enemies, the gem charges up with their souls, and after a certain number are collected, the Val skill can be used once. Most of the new Val skills introduced in this expansion are melee skills, and this results in an indirect buff to any melee builds that use one of these skills. Where previously you'd just be using your melee skill to kill enemies, you now get to periodically use a superpowered version of the skill. If you like Flicker Strike, you'll love Val Flicker Strike, as it really dials up the concept of letting fate take the wheel. Val Flicker Strike causes you to flicker dozens of extra times, slashing enemies. During this time, you don't deal any damage to the enemies you slash. You're quite vulnerable due to not leeching or generating fortify stacks. When you finish flickering, if you survived of course, you'll be rewarded with a single huge hit of damage against each enemy you slashed. Val Cleave is a new Val skill that buffs the behavior of its non-Val version, in a similar way to how Val Reeve works. Val Cleave triggers 2 buffs, one when you kill a rare enemy, and one when you kill either a rare or unique enemy. The latter is a strong buff to regular cleave, which you can keep up almost permanently if you're able to kill rare or unique enemies often enough. The bonus for killing a rare enemy is that you get to steal its mods for a time. You can enjoy part of the power of having a headhunter without actually needing to find one. Overall, Val Cleave is a pretty powerful upgrade to any melee build that could run cleave. That +2 radius buff is looking pretty good now, right? Don't hurt me. We'll showcase the other new Val skills we're introducing over the coming week. The Forbidden Sanctum expansion introduces over 15 new unique items, from Sanctum exclusive uniques to ones that can be found from Path of Exile's pinnacle bosses. I'd like to show you 3 examples of these, designed by winners of our prior league's boss kill races. Genesis is a unique amethyst flask that was designed by Ben and drops from the Uber Maven. It's a defensive flask that grants a mini version of the Petrified Blood effect, but without requiring you to be on low life. This is a useful tool for being one-shot by large amounts of incoming damage in scary situations. Rational Doctrine is a unique jewel that was designed by Rawlings and drops from Uber Venarius. By manipulating your attributes, you can change how this jewel behaves.
它是因为有一个戒指，就是暴击时获得你的脚下会有神赐宝钻戒指。
The jewel is still very powerful if it only grants your choice of permanent consecrated ground or permanent profane ground. Entropic Devastation is a pair of unique gloves that were designed by Gucci Pradas and drop from the Currently, the ways to get Spell Impale are very limited. These gloves provide the powerful property of causing all of your spells to impale. So let's talk about unique weapons, specifically endgame unique weapons. In many ways, the weapon is the most iconic and important item on a character, so it's very important that we make them exciting and worthy of their unique status. While some unique weapons have special properties that enable entirely new builds, others are best compared to powerful rare items as a primary source of your character's damage. We have to be very careful when pitching the power level of these unique weapons. If they're not powerful enough, then they're useless and ignored. But if they're too powerful, then they discourage entire archetypes of characters trying to find or craft rare weapons. Interestingly, the above problem doesn't apply to belts. Despite Mageblood and Headhunter both existing as extremely powerful unique items, people still craft plenty of rare belts. That's because Mageblood and Headhunter are extremely rare. People don't actually expect to reliably get one in the league. Players tend to treat them as luxury upgrades to their build rather than something they're certain to get. In this expansion, we're promoting 10 iconic but underused unique weapons to the same tier of rarity as Mageblood and Headhunter. We're buffing them a gigantic amount and then making them incredibly hard to find. Remember when Starforge used to be an exciting item? Well, after this change, it certainly is again. It still drops exclusively from the Shaper and the Uber Shaper, but it'll take a lot of runs or a lot of luck to earn it. Over the next week, we'll reveal the other unique weapons that have been massively buffed. We have targeted around 10 iconic underused unique weapons and have generally buffed only their damage. We've made a number of changes to jewels that are covered in a recent balance manifesto. But in case you missed it, we want to quickly summarize what the changes are. In the Forbidden Sanctum expansion, we have made jewels a better source of ailment mitigation by buffing ailment-focused jewel modifiers and adding new modifiers that enable mitigation to a wider variety of ailments than before. We've also removed some ailment mitigation modifiers that were only available on jewels through corruption because there are now better options through the regular jewel mod pool. This also means that other desirable corruption modifiers, like immunity to corrupting blood, are more likely to roll. We want the moment of finding a unique jewel to be way more exciting than it currently is. We've added a handful of new, very powerful unique jewels and have removed some old, less interesting ones. An example of one of these new unique jewels is Fire Song, which propagates any modifiers to your ignite mitigation to other elemental ailments. If you're able to substantially reduce the duration of nights on you, then you can use Fire Song to basically shrug off any elemental element.
你撑100%的点燃免疫时间，你就可以套用到所有元素异常。哦，这个有用啊，这个变有用了。这个头变有用。这核心还核心啊？刚刚那把武器是核心还是新啊？我刚只知道。哦，刚刚那核心，对不起。这个之前就知道武器。
For more details on changes to curses, check out the Balance Manifesto we posted recently, or the patch notes that will come out after the livestream concludes. When we first created the Arch-Nemesis monster mod system, our goal was to improve part of Excel's outdated set of monster mods with new and interesting mechanics that have modern game balance. We feel that Arch-Nemesis did introduce a lot of interesting mechanics, but unfortunately has several of its own problems. We have replaced Arch-Nemesis with a system that is more similar to the way monster mods worked in the past. The new monster mods are a lot simpler. They now each do one thing and very clearly state what they do. Each encounter with a rare monster is now less complex and is easier to understand in the heat of combat compared to Arch-Nemesis. You'll still encounter challenging combinations of mods from time to time, but this emergent synergy will be rarer than it was under Arch-Nemesis. The goal is that combat is interesting and varied, with moments that get your heart racing, but without the frustrations of the Arch-Nemesis system. Let's talk about rewards. Under Arch-Nemesis, it often felt mandatory to bring in a magic find culling character to kill some monsters for you in order to maximize your rewards. In the new system, we've added a significant pool of new rewards to rares, but the reward that is on the monster is hidden and not associated with a specific mod.
正确的改动，不要他妈在那边说什么日月神柱、夏卡利之柱来帮打了，终于不用了。对啦。
To find out more about other balance changes that are taking place in the Forbidden Sanctum, check out the
你们有人喜欢这个吗？你们喜欢打宝哥布林吗？有人喜欢打宝哥布林吗
？Over the last year or so, some of our senior developers have been tinkering with a more challenging way to play Path of Exile. We've been publicly alpha testing this mode, known as Ruthless, for the last month, and are planning to make it available to anyone whose skills are Divine Vessels can now be used by right-clicking them rather than taking them to Sin. On the player overhead life bar, the energy shield bar is split into a separate bar. You can now right-click an itemized Temple of Atsuapal to see its layout. And most importantly, beast crafting recipes that add mods to flasks now actually say what the mods do. We'll post more information about these and other quality of life improvements in the lead up to release. Today we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs, the Forge and Gemling packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value and points, plus several exclusive microtransactions. These packs will only be available for the duration of the Sanctum Challenge League and will leave the store forever in 3 months. As always, these microtransactions are entirely cosmetic and do not affect your character's progression or power. The Forge series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Clockwork back attachment ramps up as you build a kill streak, building pressure and releasing it when your streak ends. The Delirious hideout decoration lets you summon delirium fog in your hideout at will, complete with strange voices and terrifying apparitions.
你可以在你的场中改名。这个赞，这个我给赞，这个我给赞。
The Forge Guard armor set summons a hammer and anvil so that everyone nearby can watch you craft.
大冤种模式，还行。
每个人都是。
The Ethereal Fusing effect turns your item linking attempts into a spectator sport. If you manage to hit a 6 link, people watching are even prompted to send a congratulatory message.
你有脸给他看，
能让别人看见了。太假了，这也。
The Storm Portal effect causes a murder of crows to erupt from the portal. The portal
这两个
becomes
我都
dormant
买，
if you are too
这
far
两个
away
我
from
都
it,
买
causing the crows to take to the skies.
这要6000个连接连不
The
上，那
High
就好
Templar
笑了。
weapon effect smites the undead you fight and scours the souls of those you put to rest. The Gemling Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Beehive weapon effect lets your weapon play host to a swarm of angry bees, which erupt from the hive whenever you hit an enemy with the weapon. Critical hits cause the hive to send out its best warriors. The Stampede Quicksilver Flask makes you the leader of your own personal rower herd. Activating the flask causes a host of ghostly rowers
感觉
to
是
charge
太
you.
挡画面了吧？这谁想要？这个
This is
是
the Gemling
雷克萨
Artificer
吧
armor？set.
你是雷克萨
It is
本人
inlaid
哦
with gems that match the gems you've socketed in your items.
我喜
Crafting
欢
gems
这
with
个，
gem
我喜
cutters
欢那个点
presents
子
with。Val orbs or
我喜
regrading
欢那个
lenses visualizes the process
刚
for
那
all
个
to see.
逃窜一点屁
This
用都没有。
armor set also includes
我
ultimate
喜欢
gem
那
level
个，
up
我喜欢那个。
effects. Prospero's ring blesses you with a constant shower of coins
群星
and helps you
血
thank players you've traded with through a hearty fist bump.
发了
Consuming
胡哨了。
ooze pit
Oh,
bounces
father,
alongside
giving me
you and devours
sights.
corpses in your wake, spitting out a tidy pile of bones. Finally, this pack allows you to
那你做才
reunite
随
with
便哦，那
Kadira
软泥好
Grants,
随便哦。
inviting him to your hideout as a vendor. In addition to buying items from you and using his connections to accept your divination cards, he'll provide commentary on your goods,
命运
equipment,
卡改
and
成普兰
anything
德
else
斯
he
对话
sees
吧。
fit to judge you for.
That might be a little too much to drink, even for me.
卖掉这些东西有点太
Hundreds of
太
lines
贪
of
心
voice
了，
acting.
就连我都这样觉得。
What? Oh, a mighty headhunter. I'm
哎
so
呦，以后在普兰德
impressed.
斯卖垃圾还得被吐
Try
槽
to。duck when the
告白
brain fragments splatter everywhere. You wouldn't want to sully your armor.
你卖这些东西，路边
These
随
new
便捡
packs
都
are
有，我怎么
available
给你
right
买？
now at pathofexile.com
还抢来小。
/purchase. Purchases like these directly fund the ongoing development of Path of Exile 1 and 2,
确实
and
是
we
一些
really
发了胡
appreciate
哨
your
没啥用
support.
的。
哎呦，
Meanwhile, the
好
Knight
啦，
and
不
Rogue
错
packs
啦
leave the。
门
store
儿倒是
forever
有
in
点
1
意思
week.
哎，
So
骑
now's
士
your
豹真的要
last
买，
chance
骑
to
士豹
purchase
超
them.
帅。哎，各位，我讲真的，
The
我不是
Calandra
剧卫兵，
edition of
可
Kyrix
是
Vault
骑士
Pass
豹
is
真的
only
他妈超
available
帅
until。the end of the Calandra League, and will be
想要
replaced with
购
a
买
new set of
的
unique
玩家
items
抓
from
紧机
Forbidden
会，
Sanctum
抓紧机
launches.
会跳过。
终局战之后就会出
By
了
the。way,
快
we're
点过
hoping
去
to
吧。
film Season 11 of Build of the Week once the Forbidden Sanctum comes out. If you want to submit your build for the season, share your build guide on the class forums on
哎，我要把我
pathofexile.com.
三封剑支不到，对不起，双封剑支不到。国服全军我败，没人在乎，没人在乎。
梦想是成为世
这是我
界第
不花钱
一的
能看的
炼
东西吗？
金术士。
Mel is an aspiring alchemist exclusive to the Chinese version of Path of Exile that will accompany you on your journeys, taking a keen interest in the transmutation properties of valuable
这头
materials.
发比贵族的好看呐，这不科学啊。
Fascinated with the composition of timeless monoliths, the fully fledged premium version of Mel will pick up
哇，
timeless
可以捡
splinters for
碎
you.
片儿。哎，以前可以吗？对不起，我没有高级市区宠物，所以我不知道。
材料，滴一滴这个，再来一滴这个，就变成
确
了
实话了，
大
这赛季
口的
NPC 都有点过分活泼。
好啦好啦，对面喜欢玩这个嘛？
炼金实验的
对面
时
喜欢那个
间一定要控制好。
国际服看到岂不抱怨？国际服没有啊？你们有人喜欢吗？你们有国际服人喜欢吗？不要有这个好不好？这个东西他妈有够蠢的！你是不是搞错什么了？你是不是搞错什么了？
Next
谁
up,
需
we've
要
got
这
the
个？
Q&A with Ziggy D. Once that
来
ends,
个
we'll post
零
the，full
大
patch
家
notes
大家
for
来
the
来个
Forbidden
零。
Sanctum. Over the next week, our community
谁
team
需
will
要这
post the
个？
expansion rewards, information on how to update your item filters, all new and changed gems, and information on how to prepare for launch. On launch weekend, we expect to release the new mystery box, and we'll follow up with the new Kyrix Vault Pass in the days after launch.
大家来回来看那个那个，
We can't wait to join you in
我
Raid
尽量
Class
试试看
on
可不可以
December
及时
9th.
翻译。那我
We'll
尽量
begin
量
the，
因为
Q&A
我喝太
shortly,
多
so
啤酒
please。get your questions ready in chat.